York. I'm in town for a week or so because my son's on spring break. So that's why you see a different background behind me here. We got an awesome 11-game slate tonight to dig into. But before we get started, today's podcast is presented by Props.cash. We 100% cannot do what we do without Props.cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM at sign up to get 25% off your first month. What's going on, Dave? How was weekend one of March Madness for you, my friend?
It was good. I'm a Duke fan, so I was happy with the results. We're moving on to Sweet 16. So excited to see that. And then from a PTM standpoint, it was a wild weekend. We won a lot. We had a couple 5-unit plays, 10-unit plays out there that were cashing. Overall, very profitable. Brought on our newest contributor for the Discord, Tim Trad, who is an expert in all things soccer, also pretty damn good at NBA as well, but he's going to focus mostly on soccer. So definitely recommend coming in right now. We've got pretty much every sport covered. Awesome community. Love having a great time there. So but let's get back to some hoops. I mean, I feel like we haven't talked NBA in a while with all this NCAA stuff going on.
I know. It feels let's get back in our wheelhouse here and back to where we're comfortable, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So with all that said, we start from March Madness and we go right into an 11-game slate for NBA, which is, we don't love those. And this week is just crazy. It's like up and down, up and down. There's 11 games, then 4 games, I think, then down to maybe 10, then 2. It's like one of those really poorly scheduled NBA weeks, but it's going to be like that for the next couple weeks as NBA is scheduling around March Madness, right?
At the what do we have? 3 weeks left of the regular season? Not even 2 weeks left of the regular season.
There's
playoffs are upon us.
10 or 11 games left for each of the teams, so it's almost over.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so 11 games tonight. We're going to cover 6 of them, not 4. And we're going to try to hit this pretty quickly so you can get these bets locked in. Let's start with the Pistons at the Knicks. Knicks are minus 16.5 at home. So major blowout potential. So we got to be careful there. Total is 211.5. What do you like here?
I just have one play in this game. Jalen Brunson has just been he's been a tough matchup for Detroit this season. They've already played twice. He had 42 and 35 games in the 2 previous meetings between these teams. And it makes sense. The matchup, Detroit's allowed the 3rd most points per minute to point guards since the beginning of February. So the matchup dictates let's play Brunson. His recent history against the team says let's play Brunson. If we scroll down and look at some of the other point guard hit rates on Props.cash against Detroit, you see you have some nice even guys like Peyton Pritchard on a line of 11.5 gets 20. So I like some of what I'm seeing there. He did it twice actually on a line of 13.5, also at 23 points. The only concern here, obviously, is the spread. Yeah, I think that's the only concern. What's your feel on Jalen tonight?
Yeah. I mean, we actually just played CJ McCollum points against Detroit yesterday, and that cashed for us. So obviously, I'm a big fan of this play. What I would say is, in the past, when we were concerned about a blowout against Detroit, or just any blowout with Jalen Brunson involved, we've also played his first quarter line, which we typically can get around 7.5 or 8.5. So that would be my advice: is if you are concerned about the full game, then maybe dive into first quarter props for him.
Yeah, that might be a nice little pivot here to try to avoid the him resting in the 4th quarter in a major blowout.
All right. Just some other leans in this game, not really official plays, but Josh Hart is in a good spot for scoring, and Brunson as well, also in a pretty good spot for assists. I think that was a top matchup against against Detroit, and we actually that was our play for CJ yesterday. We had a little parlay, same game parlay for CJ. We altered down his points to 18, I think it was, and we played his assist down to 4. So that's another angle you can go for Brunson too. If you don't want to do the first quarter, you can also do like some sort of alt between his points and his assists. What do you think about that?
I like that. I think another way you could look at it, because his threes were also really popping in the model. So I don't know, maybe you also could do something like put 2 threes and whatever points get you to I guess that's another angle. So yeah, I think that could be a smart way to play him here. Adjust it down a little bit given the large spread.
25 points. Maybe 6 assists and a couple threes, something like that. Maybe that'll get you there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the assists though against Detroit this year: 8 assists and 12 assists. So, this is a prime matchup. Play anything.
Pretty Brunson. Good, even for putting. I mean, I think it was the first game that he put up 42 or whatever he had, and 8 assists, and then even with 35 points to have 12 assists, pretty awesome. Yeah.
Might be a good opportunity to just play something huge too on him, a 35-point game again.
Oh yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately. Is guys in these really, really good spots, kind of laddering them up, and catching all that upside when they're in really good spots. So yeah, I think this is definitely one of those.
Yeah, and I got my Knicks hat on, so it's got to be good luck. All right, let's go. The other team in Brooklyn, the second best basketball team that plays in the Barclays Center, behind the Liberty. Brooklyn Nets at the Toronto Raptors. So you got a little storyline here. Obviously, got a couple players who either were from New York and now in Toronto, or were on Toronto, traded to Brooklyn. But Raptors are getting 6.5 points at home. They're kind of like a shell of a team still with Scotty Barnes out. Totals 219.5. So low scoring one here as well. What do you like?
Toronto is something we've been targeting big time. They've allowed the most points to wings since February 1st. It predates that by quite a bit. I don't remember how far you have to go back, but this has been the best matchup for wings in the league, and it makes sense. Brandon Ingram, 41, Trey Murphy, 34, Ben Mathurin, nice comp, 34, Grayson Allen, not as great, 26, Brandon Miller, nice comp. So some nice comps there, and I love his minutes. So over in his last 30 games, averaging 31.9 minutes. In his last 15 games, that goes up to 33.5. In his last 10 games, 34.5. And in his last 5 games, 36.1 minutes per game. So Cam Thomas is a big part of this rotation. Can't get a better matchup. So my money's on Cam.
Yeah, look at that. He's got in the last 6 games, he's got 3 games where he's played 38 plus minutes. And this is a very winnable game for Brooklyn. So they're on the outside looking in for a playoff spot, but they are still in contention. So to get into that play-in round. So this is an important one for them. So I look for them to really be pushing for a win here. So yeah, I like that one.
And I don't think I don't know all the intricacies of it, but I don't think it pays for them to do poorly and kind of tank here. I don't think they have picks that they'll benefit from in that case. So yeah, they want to, if they can make this playoff play-in tournament, I think that's what they're going to want to do.
The Nets are in purgatory right now. They haven't committed to being bad, and they also haven't committed to being good. So they're actually hard to watch because they're a couple players away from being a good team, but they're also trading Mikal Bridges away from being bad. So I don't know. They just got to choose what they're going to do. All right. Anybody else in this game?
No, I didn't have anyone else.
All right. A couple other leans. Dennis Schroeder on Brooklyn. Great spot for assists. He's been a little cold of late. So I'm not a huge fan of this play, but I do like the narrative with him being traded from Toronto to Brooklyn. So that could be a good spot to look at. And then I love this play, but I don't know if the guy's actually going to have a line out. But Day'Ron Sharpe, I think he's gonna dominate. For rebound, second best matchup in the league for bigs. That would be Claxton would probably be the primary play, and that's the person who has the lines out. But if Day'Ron Sharpe is actually going to get some minutes tonight, I think he could be a beast. He is. I think he's the second or third most efficient rebounder in the league. So if he gets 15 plus minutes, he's like a 10 rebound guy. So I would definitely look at his rebounds if they come out later.
Yeah, I can see those dropping. 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the game starts.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and post it if it comes out.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Schroeder threes also was another one I was looking at. Could be a nice spot for his threes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go to Washington and Chicago. First of all, this slate tonight is for 11 games is kind of trash. It's like the combination of teams that are playing is pretty bad. We're going to get to a couple that are better, but I'm not overly excited about this game. Chicago is minus 12.5 at home. Total is 226, so at least our points are getting up there a little bit. What do you like in this one?
We played him. I don't know why it sounds familiar. I think we might have been on him the last time they played, and he only had 7 field goal attempts in that game. Does that ring a bell to you? Maybe, possibly.
Who was that? Sorry, but, you froze up a little bit. Who was that?
DeRozan.
Yeah.
DeRozan.
Yeah, I think that sounds familiar. Yep.
Enough last time to play the matchup. I don't remember exactly which prop it was. I know it was points related. I like his PA in this spot though, 30.5 PA. His, like I said, he only had 7 field goal attempts in that previous game. He's a guy who's usually, if you scroll down and look at his field goal attempts, he's usually in the high teens, 16, 17, 18 field goal attempts per game. So I think that was kind of just an outlier there. It's a really good matchup. He's cleared in 6 of his last 10 overall. If you factor in of his last 9 games when he's played 24 plus minutes, averaging 33 PA per game. Yeah, you see his field goal attempts there. I mean, averaging 16.5 and typically right around, right there. So, and then some nice comps. Tatum recently, 43 PA, LeBron, 40, Tatum, again, 36, Miles Bridges, 36, even Sam Hauser, 31. So, I like DeRozan here, and everyone's got a good matchup against Washington, right? It's just a matter if they can get the minutes.
Yeah. The other thing I like that play. The other thing I did notice, threes against Chicago is like pops out for almost every position. Attempts. Yeah, so yes. I was trying to figure out who on Washington would be in a good spot. Kispert is probably the best 3-point shooter on that team, so maybe look at him. Although from a matchup standpoint, it wasn't necessarily the one that was popping.
Jordan Poole was popping out for me, so I could see. I'm not betting on Jordan Poole, but I could definitely see it being a Jordan Poole kind of 3-point barrage tonight.
I would certainly. What I did like on Jordan Poole, I also looked at him because he was popping out. I would put him for 2 made threes and put that as part of a leg of any parlay. I think he's super consistent on hitting 2 threes. He's getting the minutes of late. So if you want to play him, I don't know if I'd play his 3.5 line, but I would definitely contemplate putting him in a parlay. So okay.
Yeah, that must be the way. There's 2 teams. Chicago basically all season, I think, has been allowing the most 3-pointers, and in the opposite end of the spectrum was the Pacers, who I think pretty much all season have allowed the fewest 3-pointers. So there's obviously some defensive strategy in there. So let's capitalize on it. Yeah,
exactly. All right, let's keep moving. We got the Mavs at the Jazz. Jazz are getting 8.5 points at home. Total's nice in this one, 237.5. Is this a Luka game? Hey, tell me, is this a Luka game?
Luka's. Yeah, I think so. Luka's popping big time. Like just, his scoring matchups. At every location where Luka does his scoring, it just all the puzzle pieces just kind of fit together here. So yeah, I love Luka. I mean, the points seem high at 33.5, but you also have a nice he's on 3 days rest today, so he's also got nice splits. He's gone over this in 5 straight games on 3 days rest. So Luka, he seems like the type of guy, right? That just he likes that little extra rest.
Luka, if you ever watch his like pregame walk into the he looks like he's a 50-year-old man the way he walks. Like he for being as young as he is, he looks very banged up. So I'm always worried about like his durability long term, but yeah, so a couple extra days I think will certainly benefit him.
Yeah, and they just played 4 days ago. He had 34 points in that game, so you see the line set right there. They played 2 other times this season. He had 40 points in one of the prior meetings, and then 19 in the other one. So 2 out of the 3 matchups. I was on Fred VanVleet the other just because the point guards against Utah has been just an awesome target. The most points allowed 2 point guards since February 1st. And FVV had 34 points on a line of 16.5. I think he was 10 for 15 from 3 against Utah on Saturday night.
Nice.
So I love that. Also love Luka's 3-pointers for over 4.5 made threes plus 120. I like that as well. Also has cleared it in 5 straight games on 3 days rest. So
yeah,
I could also see if you wanted to bring him down a little bit, maybe going, 3 or 4 threes, 4 threes and 30 points if you wanted to like play it a little safe. But I think this should be a competitive game.
I like that correlation. Although I think the last time we did a correlated play on Luka was part of an alt builder like months ago. And he got the points and didn't get the threes. So I still have that burning in the back of my mind. So
yeah.
Let's just keep it simple. Let's just go with the points, and he's just going to light it up tonight. All right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on?
Who else do we have in this game? Yeah, no, that was it. That's it.
All right, cool. Blazers at the Rockets. Rockets are minus 12.5, so another minus 12.5 game. Totals 225.5 in this game. Who do you like on this one? Somebody on the Blazers, I believe you're going with.
Yeah, I actually have on both sides. Let's start with the Houston side. I've been riding this guy. Fred VanVleet's just been playing awesome lately. I don't know if it has to do with like, since Şengün's been gone or whatnot. I don't know. I just feel like every time I've taken him lately, he's been cashing. I like his similar to DeRozan here. I like his points and assists. 26.5 minus 122. Like I just said, been hot lately. 7 of his last 10, averaging 28.6. He had 28 against Portland on March 8th. That was 18 points and 10 assists against Portland. So I like him to get there. And then scroll down and just scroll through some of the hit rates on point guards against Portland recently for PA. You'll see it's been pretty awesome. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Io, CJ, Brunson. I mean, these are guys who normally score like 20 points, putting up 30 something. Yes. So this could be
clearing their lines by a wide margin. Yeah.
This could be a back-to-back FVV 40 piecer here, points and assists.
Yes, sir.
I think that might be the play. He also had 10. I just saw those 10 3-pointers against Utah. So now I'm fully understanding that Luka play.
Yes, 10 for 15 from 3.
That's great. That's crazy. All right, cool. Yeah. Somebody on the Blazer side, right?
Yeah, I like Ayton rebounds, 12.5 plus money, plus 102. It was earlier. He had 17 rebounds at Houston on January 17th. They are at Houston today. He's cleared in 6 of his last 10, averaging 13.6. Vooch recently had 14, which is on the higher end for him. Sabonis, 15. You might say on the lower end for Sabonis, but still 15 rebounds nonetheless. The only thing I don't like about Ayton, he has terrible home road splits. Like he's a much better rebounder at home than he is on the road, and they're on the road today. So it's my only hesitation with this play. I don't know. You got any Ayton insights?
I'm just shocked that you're playing Ayton, because every time I bring up his name, you're like, that guy's got no heart. He doesn't want to be out there, but he does seem to be. I don't know. He was in this stretch. He looked like an all-star, and now he's kind of coming back down to earth. I don't know. I mean, who's rebounding against him? You got Jock Landale and Jabari Smith. I mean, the good
it's tough.
Good players,
Uncle
but they're
Jeff.
not. Yeah, Uncle Jeff. Like, I don't know. If he wants 13 rebounds, he'll get 13 rebounds. The only question is, does he want to be out there?
The motivation, yeah.
And 12.5 points is a little scary. Rockets are very good at home. I don't actually know how the Blazers play on the road, but I'm assuming they're probably not very good on the road. So this one could be a blowout. I would try to alt it down to 10 rebounds and play that with something else. That would be my advice.
That's a nice piece to a builder.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. You ready to wrap it up? Got one more game?
Let's wrap. Before we do, I just skipped over back on that Washington-Chicago game. I think it was. I also had Alex Caruso over 3.5 assists. It's minus 145. Just real quick, he's done in 5 of his last 6, 7 of his last 10, and they played like 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, and he had 5 assists in that game. Great matchup. So
nice.
Just didn't want to forget that one. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, let's wrap it up.
All right. We got Indy and the Clippers. Clippers are minus 5.5 at home. Total is 233.5. So nice West Coast total there. What do you like here?
All right. Let's start on the Clips side. I like Zubac over 8.5 rebounds, minus 128 on FanDuel. He played Indiana back on December 18th. He had 16 rebounds in just 26 minutes of action. If we look this season, they are on a back-to-back today. He's cleared in 7 of his last 7 of 10 on a back-to-back this season. Average on back-to-backs this season, averaging 9.4. One of those back-to-backs, I think he only played like 16 minutes. So we take that one out. He's 7 for 9 this season on back-to-back, averaging 10.1 rebounds per game on back-to-backs.
There we go.
There it is. And then, I think one of those was like I factored one out. And then good comps. Wendell Carter recently had 15, Chet Holmgren 13, Vooch 12, Claxton 10, Duren 12, and AD just the last game he had 16 rebounds against the Pacers.
That could be a nice thing to parlay together with thinking like Zubac 8 rebounds and 8 and 10, something like that. That could be a nice little center rebound parlay if you want to even take this down a little further. But I don't know. I think Zubac 8.5 rebounds by itself is pretty good. That might be my favorite play that you've given out so far.
Ooh, all right. I didn't give you my last one yet.
All right, let's wait. Go ahead.
Okay, ready? All right. On the Indiana side, Pascal Siakam, a guy I've been playing a lot lately, but like different props. Like he's been points, he's been rebounds, he's been PRA. I've been playing Pascal a lot here. I love his assists in this spot. So the Clippers have allowed the most assists to forwards since February 1st. I think it actually dates back a little further than that. This has been a good matchup to target lately. Over 3.5 assists, you get plus money, plus 124 on DK. Look at him on back-to-backs. He's cleared this line. Obviously, a lot of this dates back to Toronto, but for back-to-back stuff, I don't mind that as much. 15 of his last 19 games on a back-to-back, he's cleared this line. If you look at back-to-backs on the road, 9 of his last 10 games on road back-to-backs, he's cleared this line. So only missed once in the last 2 seasons, basically. And then you had here's why it's such a good matchup. Giannis had 10 assists. DeMar DeRozan 10 assists. These are guys who do like they're at 6, 7, right?
Five assist guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Kyle Anderson 7, Kelly Oubre 6, Kuminga 6, Kyle Anderson again 6. Who else did you have in here? DeMar DeRozan 4. Tobias Harris 4. So great. What do you think about this one? I was really excited about this one.
Yeah. I mean, I think Siakam's been awesome. Like, I think, like you said, the hardest part is to pick out what he's going to do well that night. We put out an alt builder, alt line props almost every day. And I would say 25% of the time we're putting Siakam 15 points in there because that's like almost a guarantee every night. And then his rebounds are constantly showing up. His assists are constantly showing up. I like this one. For 3.5 assists, he seems like he's going to get there.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with this, but there's like certain things, right, on a back-to-back, like certain guys with certain stats, and this just seems to be one of them. I don't remember like seeing this one in the past, but yeah, I mean, can't argue with it.
Yeah, speaking of assists, I was just scrolling earlier and I saw Props.cash has now released potential assists.
I saw that yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Very excited about that.
So if you look,
there it is.
Some nice potential assist numbers too. So it's kind of like 5 potential assists, and he gets to the 4 assist mark is kind of the secret, and that's not a very high, low ratio. So I think that's pretty good. I think he's pretty efficient in converting assists. So, all right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good stuff.
All right, that wraps it up. We kept it short and sweet, only 26 minutes here, so that was nice. Thank you, everyone. Let me just pop over to X real quick for a sec and see if anyone had any questions or anything before we hop off here. No, let's see. No, don't see anything there. We'll check on YouTube real quick. Oh, here, we did have one right here. Would you play Miles McBride at 13.5 points on DK? Miles McBride.
That's a new one for us, huh?
Yeah, I don't see lines on him early in the day typically, so he's not somebody that we usually dig into much.
Miles McBride.
You have stuff for him there? Yeah, they said 13.5 on YouTube, but
let's see. Yeah, looks like it's gone up. BetMGM still at 13.5, but everywhere else is 14.5. So clearly the movement is up. Miles McBride, you would think, would get some decent playing time in this game if it is a blowout, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. He is starting, so he's a starting shooting guard. He's classified as a point guard here on Props.cash. How are shooting guards against Detroit? Tom, you got that there?
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Combo guards against Detroit. Not great. They've had the 8th fewest points per minute over the last. The point guard matchup's good. 28th. So the 3rd most points per minute. Combo guards, 8th fewest points per minute. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm looking at our projection model. He is projected for 19.1 points. So on a line of 14.5. So
that must be why.
He's
out in some models. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I think he is projected high. Not necessarily the best matchup for shooting guards, but if he ends up sliding into the point guard role because of a blowout or something like that, that could be a good spot. So I think it's good. I wouldn't go crazy on it, but it does seem like a good sneaky play.
If there is one coach that definitely doesn't go to his bench too early in a blowout, it's Tibbs, right?
Oh, for sure. A couple starters will be playing 40 minutes in this game, and the Knicks will be up.
Yes.
Knicks will be up 30 points. So I don't know what he likes to get his money's worth for his players.
That's right.
And take guys like Fournier last year and play him 0 minutes. So.
We got a quick note from Brandon Wong here on X, just asking. A few people must have showed up late, asking if we could recap some of the earlier picks. I can just run through them real quick down my list. Luka over points, Luka threes, also nice. Cam Thomas over 23.5 points. Jalen Brunson over 29.5 points. Fred VanVleet over 26.5 points and assists. DeAndre Ayton over 12.5 rebounds. DeMar DeRozan over 30.5 points plus assists. Alex Caruso over 3.5 assists. Vitsa Zubac over 8.5 rebounds. And Pascal Siakam over 3.5 assists. Were there one or two on your end that I skipped?
Did you say Brunson as well?
Brunson points, I said, yeah.
And Cam Thomas, right?
And Cam Thomas, yeah. All right.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, that was out there. Yep. All right, cool. Thanks, Brandon. All right. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for your questions. And let's see if we can all make some money on this nice 11-game slate tonight. I'm feeling good about this one.
Let's go.
Let's do it.